Live. Sweet. Okay. That was fast. All right. So we are officially live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and tonight is the final, the one and only last episode of Season 6 of the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I couldn't be more thrilled, and tonight we have a very special guest sitting down with us, Dr. Ashley Harper, tuning in from Atlanta, Georgia, and she's going to tell us her whole story of from chiropractic school all the way to associating, and then we're going to have some deep conversations tonight about what's been going on in recent current news, current events, and how that really translates into chiropractic and what we can do as chiropractors, as chiropractic students, to be even better moving forward, because that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is that you listen so that you can get some advice, so you can get a resource and some value to bring your own life, either personally, professionally, occasionally, and take it for what it's worth and move forward to make somebody else's life a little bit better. So I hope that we can do that tonight. I hope that we shine lights on very, very important topics. And I also hope you learn something. So without further ado, I am going to cut to the first sponsor reel here. And we're going to thank our initial sponsors. Guys, we love our sponsors. Please be sure to click the link above and check out all of the amazing sponsors that we have and have had for the last 2 seasons so far of the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. They have so many things to give away for free consultations, free business guides, free ebooks, a whole bunch of stuff. So check that out, and we're going to let this roll. And when we come back, Dr. Ashley is going to give us her introduction and her background story on chiropractic. We'll be right back, everyone. To Inspire Women is the elite boutique coaching company for chiropractors who are looking to live life and run business in a way that is personal, unique, and authentic. They focus on business systems and money mindset mastery so you can pay down debt, be more profitable, and serve more people. Their goal is to empower by your own rules, your own definition. Head to Two and Down because they know there's a better way. Chiro HD, superior based practice management software. Chiro HD is a user-friendly, all-in-one EHR solution built with one mission: to help you run your practice like a boss. Learn more at chirohd.com. Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to totalclinicsolutions.com now. It's time that chiropractors look beyond spinal alignments and measured the nerve connections that keep our patients feeling strong and performing at their peak. CLA designed the Insight scanning technologies to transform exams and generate powerful reports that give practitioners the certainty they have been searching for. Learn how CLA has partnered with practices around the world by going to insightcla.com. Spinal hygiene products are designed to educate your patients on the importance of lifetime spinal care. To learn more about how spinal hygiene products work and to download the patient education material for free, visit spinalhygiene.co. Again, that's spinalhygiene.co. Easily share your passion for chiropractic and look good doing it with Above Down Apparel, offering a premium lineup of principled apparel that's impossibly soft, sustainably sourced, and chiropractic AF. Visit abovedown.co and follow them on Instagram to learn more and score yourself some sweet chiro swag. Sked is the all-in-one system that allows for amazing control and flexibility of your scheduling. Yes, your next new hire. Every aspect of when and where you service your customers is at your command. Sked is tightly integrated with your existing EHR system, specifically for chiropractic. No joke. Go check out this care plan by heading to go.sked.life/legendarypod. Dr. David Toohill is an innovative product and marketing strategist, bridging the gap between your vision and strategic plan. He will help you design specific products and processes that are both scalable and set up to produce long-term revenue and growth. He has previously worked with influencers that include Dr. Josh Axe, Jordan Rubin of Ancient Nutrition, Olympic gold medalist Shawn Johnson, and many, many others. Schedule your call with Dr. Dave today by heading to meetwithdrdave.com. Training the best adjusters on the planet, Syntropy has reverse engineered what the masters do naturally. From the energetics to the mechanics, they've hacked the code to shorten your learning curve on the road to masterful adjusting. To find a seminar near you, head to syntropychirotraining.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Phenomenal. Welcome back, everybody, to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. As you know, I am your host, Johnny Reuter, and tonight we're sitting down with very special guest, Dr. Ashley Harper, tuning in from Atlanta, Georgia, and she has a heck of a story to tell and just an experience in chiropractic, and I want her to be able to share that. So, Doc, without further ado, the virtual floor is yours to share your chiropractic story, how you discovered this profession, and what that looks like for you.
Well, thank you again for having me.
Of course.
So I'm Dr. Ashley Harper, and I discovered chiropractic. Well, I was a physical therapy tech for a while, and when I graduated undergrad, I thought I wanted to go to physical therapy school. So I did the personal training thing for a while and a physical therapy tech on the side. And my friend was like, "Hey, I go to this chiropractor that needs someone to help with his physical therapy unit." I went out and he hired that day. It was very interesting. I was like, okay, well, I don't really want this job. I don't even know what chiropractic really is. I had been adjusted when I was an athlete in college, but he never explained to me what he was doing. So I just was never knew what it really was about. So I started the job, and it was amazing. I was really more in the physical therapy unit, helping people with their exercises and stuff like that. But I would go over to the chiropractic area a lot just to learn from him and grow. He never pushed me into chiropractic school. He always would say, "You would make a great chiropractor." And I kind of just figured it out for my own. I saw people getting better faster, seeing really great results, and just keeping the results. That was the biggest thing, is that they weren't going back to where they were. If they had a flare up here and there, it was they responded quickly because their body was adapting like it's supposed to. And people loved it. I've never saw people get adjusted and just still hang out. They're done and they're hanging around, having conversations and stuff. And I'm just what is this? And it was the first time I ever saw someone love their job. My family, I grew up with a family that just really just did the job just because they had to. They wasn't passionate about it. And so I was well, maybe I'll look into it. So I looked into Life University, to Life Leadership Weekend, and I applied there, got in that weekend, and never looked back. My husband was overseas in Afghanistan then, so I was literally next time I talked to him, I was so what if I told you I want to go to chiropractic school and we're moving to Atlanta, because I was in Tennessee then. And he was all for it, and so we packed everything, left, and the rest is history. Now I'm here.
Awesome. 2 years after. Oh, man. That is so awesome. And I like to just hear people's chiropractic stories, because I think it's important for other people. They'll be like, hey, I relate to that. That kind of was similar to me and my story or whatnot. So that is a phenomenal, phenomenal story. And it's funny that you brought up some of the major things about chiropractic that I fell in love with, and I think most people fall in love with just naturally, because it is naturally attracting to the profession, right? The fact that we do love our job, right? It's not really work, it's play, but it's also, we get to see life change every single day of our life, and when you have that much, that high of and that much energy around you that is that positive, that is that emotional, that can only drive you to love what you're doing, right? And I mean, we can talk about BJ quotes all day until the cows come home about, you can't take too much credit. It's the adjustment. Their body does the work. that's great, right? And I'm not trying to take credit for what we do at all, but what I am trying to say is, man, we freaking love it. and that's what's fun, right? And that's what's so much fun. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it is a different profession, and it's different for a lot of, the right reasons. But it's also different for some interesting reasons that we're going to get to in a little bit. But talk to us a little bit about your transition from being a student to a doctor, because I know that there are a lot of chiropractic students and docs listening to this right now who either are soon to graduate or recently graduated. And that transition period, as I lived through and am, now living through, it's a tough time. The water is muddy and murky, and it's you don't really know where to grab onto or who to go to for help. So talk to us, navigate us through what you did and your process.
My process was very interesting. It was good for the most part, because where I did my internship, my peak internship I ended up working there as well. So it was, the transition for me wasn't, the hard part was not getting used to the office or the people that were already there. That was easy because have already been there.
Right.
It was more of the transition of them not seeing me as a student intern anymore to being Dr. Ashley. So that's the thing. If you are going to start a job, be a chiropractor in the office you already did your internship in, the transition of them seeing you as a doctor is huge. Like, for them not, and that's the support staff, the support of the other doctor that you're working with, to make it really known that you're not a student, you are a doctor now. I thought it was very easy, easier than I thought, because they really had great ideas and plans to make it known. And so literally for 3 weeks straight, it was all about get to know Dr. Ashley. So literally there was pictures of me and my family all around the office. There was a Q&A session, ask Dr. A, what you want to know about me. And just celebrating me becoming Dr. Ashley, and that I stepping into this new role. So the transition of that was actually pretty flawless. And that's just because I had the full support behind the staff. When it came to me owning being a doctor was a little bit more difficult. I knew I had walked and talked as a doctor throughout school, but when I was officially Dr. Ashley, it didn't really hit me until, some people it hits them when they walk across the stage. For me, it was not until I got my license officially that I was and my malpractice insurance that I was all right, I'm official, is that's when it really hit me. But also knowing and owning to working under a doctor that's been there for 25 years, been doing this for 25 years, and someone that's just coming out, I'll admit I am still learning that journey. Some days, most days are fine. It doesn't hit me like that, some days that certain people only want to be adjusted by her or anything like that, and that's fine. But I will tell you that sometimes it's kind of gut-wrenching that, I'm I'm a great person, great chiropractor, I have great hands, but I also am she's been in this so much longer, she has experienced so much more, and I'm very grateful that I get to work under such an amazing mentor, that she that I can learn from and grow with as well, and she respects me just that much too. So the biggest thing with transitioning is that really owning who you are and figuring out who you are and being that, and not straying from it, because a lot of times people try to become and do stuff that how they think they should be, and then it kind of things get muddy and very hard. So figuring out who you are, and affecting that day is the big thing.
Yeah. Those are all huge takeaways. There were two key points, and one of them was, you brought up the topic of she's been there for 25 years, and I wrote down that, something we always said in my internship at Dr. Sam Clavel's office in Austell, Georgia. We always talked that, we're still chiropractic babies, right? Even if you are, because he just had hired an associate, Dr. Jagarin Knight Bryant, phenomenal doc, and he literally was like, John, I'm a chiro baby. He's like, Dr. Sam's been at this for 10 plus years. I'm just coming out of the gates and just getting started, right? Because it's so much different when we're constantly taught to be in our educated mind. We're constantly taking tests, quizzes, doing homework, and applying our knowledge in some way, shape, or form to education and to school and to academia. And then we get out and now it's all clinic, all day, all the time, plus, billing, business, all of these different things that we don't even think go into running an office. And that's just like, it's mind blowing. So I write down, and I highly encourage any recent grad out there who's kind of in our same positions. You've been out for 2 years. I've been out for, a couple months. Like, it's like, you literally are a chiro baby. You are just learning the ropes. And I highly encourage you not to be too hard on yourself, because a lot of times we can wake up or get home from work or do all these different things and get really, really down in the dumps about ourselves and our performance. And then we realize that we're learning from somebody who's been doing it for 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And we're like, oh, wait, they've had a lot longer time than us, right? It's like, oh, that's different. And second I wrote down was, you said, own who you are. And then, but I'm going to add that, but be willing to learn, right? Be open to learn, because stepping into a role is really, really tough. But if you have this like complete shutdown, I know everything, I'm the doctor now, blah, 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 that's going to put you in a really tough position. So how would you recommend people keep themselves open and coachable during their associateship and internship?
Really to just keep asking questions and keep learning and keep, because we don't know everything.
Yeah.
Like we learned a lot in school, but that book learning and technique learning did not fully help us know how to run a successful practice. We had to do extra work outside of school to learn that. And even the clubs and stuff you probably did, you haven't fully experienced it yet until you're actually in practice. So I'm still learning. I'm still like, I've been out for 2 years, but I'm still, like, there's so much more I don't know. And I'm still trying to figure it all out, because I'm trying to decide, am I going to eventually open my own? And like, what does that look like? So the biggest thing is to be open and ask those questions and listen. The biggest thing is listening, like not being heard. And a lot of people decide what they're going to say next rather than listening, actually really listen to the person. So.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Talk to us now about associating in a family practice. What's that like, and give us like 3 key takeaways of your experience so far.
It's been great, like, especially like, because working in the practice that I work in, where vitalism is in every aspect, to even how we talk about finances when we do the financials, because money, it's a transfer of energy. It's just energy. That's all we're doing. Like when we're adjusting people, when we're exchanging, like talking about the financial component of it, everything has to be in a vitalistic component, and every aspect of the office is that. And associating there, even when I was peaking there, I learned so much of that, and I'm still like learning it. And that's been the best part of it all. Like, you can have a family practice and family wellness practice, but is it really vitalistic practice? It's basically like, you can show people these, for example, like a financial, you can show people like this option, this option, this option, and just like throw things at them. And if they don't pick one of those, then you just don't want to help them. You kind of have to meet people where they're at. Sometimes it's not the best choice that's for them, but you got to be like, people can't, they have to make the decision for themselves. What I've, whether it's taking care of others, is that this is one of those things that takes effort for the country that we live in. We live like unhealthy country. And so one takeaway is being vitalistic in everything you do. So vitalism is the key. Second takeaway is holding space for others. We deliver amazing service with the adjustments that we do, and we help people feel better really well and really quickly a lot of times. But we don't think about the emotional stresses, which a lot of people don't talk to about to even some of their loved ones. And so holding space for them, whether it's they need someone to talk to or they just need you to just be there and listen, is probably like the biggest thing I've learned. I've had grown men cry on me. I've had moms, every walk of life, literally telling me everything that they probably would not even tell their husband or their kids or their sister or brother. So being there and holding space and listening and being that for them is the second. Third, is learning everything. You have to learn the stuff you don't want to learn, like the billing, the back office stuff. Like if you want to progress to being a business owner, you're going to have to get into the nitty gritty of the stuff that no one really wants to learn, but has to learn. Being an associate is supporting the office and being there for what they need, but also you got to get something too. And doing that by asking the right questions, doing the learning whatever you can, because you're supposed to learn. That's why you're there. You are being paid there to help make the office better and great, but you're also there to be the better doctor, because it's a practice that you're in. You're just constantly practicing your art every day.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. So when we get back from thanking these next sponsors, I'm going to be actually breaking down some of the notes that I just took, giving you those top 3 things again. And then we're going to move into postpartum care and talking about pregnant mamas and how we can best treat them and take care of them. We'll be right back, everyone.
Yep.
Every chiropractic clinic needs a compliance program. If you are not sure what that includes or why you need one, let Dr. Robin from RHDC Consulting help you build your chiropractic compliance. If you are ready to get started, head to robin-hale.mykajabi.com and let Dr. Robin guide you to the end result. Dr. Christy Wick is revamping the landscape of women's chiropractic coaching. With a focus on connection and congruence, she's on a mission to empower Lady DCs across the nation to create bold, successful lives and practices their way. Get started today by visiting theilluminatedsquad.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Phenomenal. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I see we got a bunch of people on. If you want, please comment, love, share, whatever you got to do to spread this. This is a fun conversation that we're having. We just got done talking all about transitioning student to doc and really what associating in a practice looks like, specifically for Dr. Ashley. But then she gave us some big 3 takeaways that I think are extremely, extremely important. Especially for my soon-to-be graduates that are coming up, that are looking for associateships. So the biggest thing that she said was holding space for others. And the biggest thing in regards to that, I wrote down that emotional stress is one of the biggest components to wellness, right? If we want to be 360 degrees of a true healthy lifestyle, I feel like a lot of people just kind of shelf the emotions and don't really address them. And that's something huge you bring. That's awesome. And then the next is being vitalism. Have vitalism included in everything that you do, not only as an associate doc, but making sure that the office is vitalistically run and that it's preaching what you also agree with philosophically, right? I think that's really important because a lot of times I see when associates get matched up with the wrong doctor, what happens is it's not a philosophical alignment. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to avoid in this profession is that's how our young get eaten, if you will. Because if we don't align philosophically first and foremost, how are we going to get past anything else? And that I think is a really tough conversation. Number 3 was learning everything. I love that you said you got to know the back office stuff just as well as you know the front office stuff. Meaning the back office is the insurance, the billing, the CA stuff, and then you got to know it just as well as you know just phones and how actually can treat somebody, help somebody. So those were huge 3 key takeaways. I appreciate you sharing those with us, Dr. Abby. Now I want to talk about postpartum care and rehabilitation through BirthFit with the use of also chiropractic, right? So when BirthFit first came on the scene, it was like it exploded. And I'm so happy to have you on the show. I think you're the first person to be talking about BirthFit and its importance, and also about postpartum and, mothers that have had the child, right? We always say, yeah, we run a pediatric practice, but sometimes I feel we take care of the pregnant mamas and then we forget about the mamas who had the kid, and we got all sorts of issues there. So talk to us about this whole entire situation going on.
Well, BirthFit, I'm a BirthFit coach. We have like BirthFit coach and professionals, but right now we're BirthFit leader. I'm a BirthFit leader. We've just changed things around. So a leader can be any form of a doula, a nurse practitioner, a pediatrician, because that, they work with parents, OBs, anything that works one-on-one with the pregnancy, postpartum population. And what BirthFit was started for was first to help with really initially postpartum. We do prenatal and preconception and menstrual stuff too, but main thing is it started with postpartum because postpartum is forgotten. Women are like adored and like gifted and like celebrated all through their pregnancy. They have to be in is like not like always them, but them is forgotten. They feel lonely. They don't know what to do next. They go to their 6-week appointment, and the doctor or midwife is like, "You're clear," and you're like, "What does that mean?" Like, I'm clear to go have sex, or like, what does that mean? So they don't know that they need to rehab and reshape this new body, because once you have a baby, you have a brand new body, and you don't know how to navigate it. And there's a lot of emotional components that they have to work through. So we have 4 pillars that are really important. So we have mindset is important, fitness, nutrition, and connection. And so through all those 4 pillars, we help support every woman through those transitions of whether it's prenatal, postpartum, or preconception. Why it's important, definitely, I'm focusing more on postpartum tonight because there's a lot of women that have kids and they're like 20 plus, their kids are like 20 something or older, and they're wondering why they still are peeing on themselves, have urinary incontinence. They just think that that's just part of having babies, that there's nothing that can help it. That's just part of it. Or that they're like still having pain, like pubic bone pain, or they're having like pain with sex, or they're like just very weak in their core. They can't do anything with it, and so those women don't understand why, and they don't understand that they still have time, but they didn't know to start doing rehab as soon as you can start as soon as 4 weeks postpartum, depends on how your birth went, the labor went. And so in BirthFit, what we do is we have classes called the BirthFit Postpartum Series, where it's the breath and flow is the initial. So once mom has the baby, well, first of all, we just came out with a new thing called lying in. So lying in is the first 30 to 40 days of postpartum. So basically just hanging out, chilling, loving on your baby. And just resting and recovering. After that, it's the breath and flow phase, which is more of like starting to rehabilitate, learning how to breathe again, learn how to use diaphragmatic breathing. A lot of people don't know how to breathe with their diaphragm properly. So we teach them that and how to do safe core movements that aren't a bunch of sit-ups, a bunch of crunches, a bunch of leg lifts, that only work one area of the core called your rectus abdominis. We focus on the whole core. So your diaphragm, helping strengthen the diaphragm, the pelvic floor, the rectus abdominis, into the paraspinal low back muscles. So we focus on everything as a whole. Yeah. And then that leads into the postpartum series where we can implement the breath and flow work into more of like resistance training, getting them back to moving, functional movement kind of stuff. When we do these classes, women see a lot of benefit, not just physically, but mentally too. You know, the mindset portion we focus on a lot, making sure that they mentally know and understand that, you know, this is the love of the body that they have, and that to not hate it. Because when you start hating it and wanting to look like pre-baby body that is all over social media, that women that were pregnant and now are super skinny, that's not everybody, right? That's not real life. Also, the connection component. When we have these classes, they get to connect with other mothers. So then they have another person to talk through to and connect with during this hard transition. You know, a lot of women feel like they've lost themselves because they don't know how to be this new person that they are. And then nutrition is obviously another point. So we talk a lot about what healthy foods and things that can help enrich your rehab. You know, a lot of women don't know the things that they should be eating to help with rehabilitating their body again.
Yeah.
So,
wow. I mean, it's a lot, but I want to emphasize that it's all encompassing, and it's really a whole journey with the mother through childbirth and then after. And I think that's important to emphasize because a lot of people don't understand what BirthFit is, but those that do it, right? But knowing people like you in your community, I think is huge, because I haven't gone through the BirthFit training yet, but to know you and to say, hey, maybe, you know, maybe I can't offer something here that you can, right? This is what we need to start seeing more of within chiropractic in terms of referrals, because I had this conversation multiple times on this podcast. This is all about once people are in the chiropractic model, we need to keep them in the chiropractic model. And because it is the better, healthier option. And in that regard, you have to drop the ego and say, maybe I don't know this, or maybe I'm not as good in this category as Dr. Ashley is, right? And I think that's a huge, huge takeaway from that. So what we're going to do, Dr. Ashley, is we're going to cut to another ad break. Our last one, thanking our last couple sponsors here, closing out season 6. And then when we come back, we are going to talk all about the current events, race within chiropractic, and why this conversation is so critical to have right now at this very moment. So we'll be right back, everyone. Dr. Stu Hoffman, founder and president of ChiroSecure Malpractice Insurance, is the foremost expert in both risk management and risk avoidance. Understanding the everyday challenges of today's practicing chiropractor and the current public perception of chiropractic has made ChiroSecure the fastest growing malpractice insurance program of the last 28 years. Find out more at chirosecure.com. Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimagingservices.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Fantastic. Welcome back, everybody, to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. All right, this next topic and this last topic is critical, vitally important to chiropractic, to the world. And I want to talk about current events. I want to talk about chiropractic and race. And I want to talk about all of the things that nobody else talks about because they're too scared or they're embarrassed or whatnot. But we have nothing to hide on this show. And you were like, John, I want to talk about this. I'm like, let's do this. Let's freaking rock and roll. So I'm going to let you have the floor, share your opinion, share your thoughts, and share some solutions for the chiropractic world on what we can do better and what we can change. All right?
So yeah, it's obviously we know that the racial injustice is occurring in our world. It is very heated and it's a hard topic for people to talk about, but I think it's something we need to talk about and have these conversations because if we don't, then nothing's going to change, right? When it comes to the chiropractic world, we as the Black chiropractors have been very disappointed. We haven't heard of any support really from Life University, from ICPA, which, are, and others too, but those are the main ones that like I'm affiliated with, and it hurts. And it's not like it's not like we're asking you to like go out and protest or anything, but to make a statement of like that you are supporting us in this, and that Black lives do matter. Like, it's, yes, all lives are important, but right now the issue, and it has been an issue for over 400 years now, is that Black lives are being affected hugely and in so many ways, from systemic and structural racism. And our government alone, has really brought us into, have the highest poverty. Our educational system is not the best in a lot of our communities. Our health is not the best either. I mean, the Black maternal rate is 5 times higher in the Black community for Black females than it is for white females. The infant mortality is 3-4 times higher as well versus the white. So it's like it's affecting us in all ways. And so especially when it comes to, especially like our school not backing us, even I haven't heard anything from the Georgia Chiropractic Council. Like, I can't speak for states, but Georgia hasn't vocally supported us, hasn't made a statement. And so that doesn't look good. And to be truthful, there's not many of us, it's very low percentage of Black chiropractors out there, especially Black female chiropractors. And so I don't think we're being well represented, because we're not being asked to speak in stuff, like events and things. I think that's one solution, getting us out there more. We need to bring on the forefront that there's plenty of us that want to. I mean, Brett Jones put it out there that he had over 80 Black chiropractors like ready and willing, and I'm one of them, to speak at any of these platforms, and really just be there. Because if we're not represented in our own community of chiropractic, then we're already not being represented and respected in the United States in general, then it doesn't look good. And you would think it would be well supported with the small community that we have in the chiropractic world. Other solutions is, having conversations. Like, if you are not sure what to do or what to say, reach out to one of us and ask. It's that simple. We are not going to yell at you or be mean towards you in any way. We want to have these conversations. We want to talk to you. And so you can try to understand. You'll never understand what it's like to be a Black person. But you, at least asking and having those conversations and trying to listen to us and try to understand where we're coming from is huge. Having things like this, how we're having tonight, like having interviews and talking about it and bringing it on the forefront is what really needs to happen. We can't act like it's not happening, and we're not going to stop, because it needs to be well represented, and we need to be outspoken about it. It may come across that we are mad and angry. It's more of just disappointment. It hurts. And so that's why we don't want to come across like we're mad, but kind of we are. It's very frustrating to not feel backed or supported by the people that you call your brothers and sisters in the chiropractic world.
Yeah. And I mean, I couldn't agree more with everything you said. And I took away a couple things. Have conversations that matter, right? Have conversations that matter with people that matter, right? And that's the truth. Have a conversation. And if you don't know how to, talk in this situation or have that conversation or bring it up, then ask a question, right? every conversation typically starts and continues to flow through with question and answer. So if you don't know, ask questions. And that goes back to the very beginning of this conversation when we said you have to seek learning. And I always say, always say, professionally, personally, and educationally, you have to get yourself and your mind, your heart, and your gut right in all three of those categories, because that's what makes you the best person you can possibly be. So number one, have conversations, even if they're tough, like we're doing right now at this very moment, right? But this is something that we need to shine light on. And I'm happy. I am more than happy to have this be a platform for that, because that's what this is. That's what the chiropractic community should be about, right? We should be lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. And I've said that from day one in regards to technique. I've said that day one in regards to philosophies. And now I'll say it in regards to race, right? It should not be a difficult conversation, although it is. We should be having it, okay? The second thing I said was show support where it's not being shown, and show support where it is being shown. It's as simple as that, right? Like you said, you called out a couple groups that you're not happy with. And to be frank, that's BS, right? I mean, that's crap. And I think that's absolutely wrong. And I know for a fact what the costs are to be affiliated with some of these groups, especially going through school. We can talk about loans and how much tuition is all day, right? And for you to walk across that stage and become a doctor and become an educated, great chiropractor walking across that stage from the school, and then them not have your back, that's garbage, right? I think that's absolute garbage. So I'm glad you brought that up. And then last but not least, listen. Tough conversations take, first of all, recognizing that it's a tough conversation and having it, and then also listening to your peers, your mentors, and those that you look up to and or you lead, right, as a leader, and listening to them and what they have to say and their struggles, because that's what this life is all about. And what you put out there, what you give, is what you get back tenfold. And I firmly believe that. So any closing remarks in regards to this conversation that you want to mention still?
Really is just to be open. Racism is there. It's always been there. It's just being shown more now. I think it's just we have more avenues for it to be seen and put into people's faces more. It's not easy to see, and but it needs to be seen. And the only way it's going to get better is that everyone supporting each other and making a change. A plan needs to be made and executed, and that's what our goal is. That's what we want to do. We want a difference to happen in this world, something that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the change for the better is what I'm talking about. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's going to take us all of us as a chiropractic profession, to come together and unite and quit tearing each other down, quit putting your ego where your mouth is, and start loving on some people, because that's what it takes, and that's what you do every single day inside your office. So why wouldn't you show that to your own profession? So I appreciate you being on this show first and foremost. I appreciate you having that tough conversation at the end. And I also appreciate you for being a badass chiropractor and just crushing it. You're absolutely rocking it, and you're only 2 years out of school, and you are absolutely crushing it. And I hope that anyone listening to this podcast, either now or in the future, got something from the beginning, got something from the middle, and got something from the end of this show, because there were so many golden nuggets dropped here and there, and the value you brought, the content you brought is absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to see you speak. So you let me know what stage you're going to be on, and I want to be there. So I appreciate you for being on the show, Doc. And just in regards to everything going on right now in the Legendary Chiropractor, please make sure you go to thelegendarychiropractor.com/go. Become a free member today. Sign up for free as a student or a doctor. Get all past podcast episodes and video interviews that we've done. And also sign up and post and find jobs, post and find seminars, post and find mission trips. Do everything you can to be involved in the Legendary Chiropractor community, because we're here to love you and support you in any way, shape, or form that we can and we see fit. So, Dr. Ashley, I thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your love. And you have been absolutely amazing on the show. Our last episode of season 6. I hope everyone is able to stay legendary. And Dr. Ashley, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Of course. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.